Hey guys, so today I have swatches of the Cirque Colors Angel Baby collection. There are 6 polishes here altogether. These are available right now, so I will link the Cirque Colors website down below. I also have a coupon/affiliate code with Cirque Colors, which the last time I made a video, which is a really long time ago, that was a one-time use only code, but now you can use it as many times as you want, so that's awesome for everyone involved. 6 polishes here altogether. I will also have comparisons after the swatches, and let's get into it. So the first polish is called Smitten, and this is described as a light purple lilac crelly. So this is pretty sheer on the first coat. Formula feels pretty good. It is fairly even, though I did notice it settling just a little bit on the sides of my nails. So this evened out really nicely and built really well on the second coat. You could totally stop here if you don't mind the slightly more sheer look because it is very even, but I did want to cover that nail line a bit, so I added a third coat, and that third coat did cover completely. And if you hear any background cat sounds, Biscuit brought a mouse up from the basement at 3 a.m. and promptly lost it, and she's on a mission to find it again. So that is 3 coats of Smitten. The next polish is called Angel's Breath, and this is described as a sparkly white shimmer topper. So I am swatching this over Smitten. This does have a really great formula. It applies very evenly and definitely not something that would build up well on its own. So there is Angel's Breath with 3 coats on its own, 1 coat over Smitten and 1 coat over black. The next polish is called Cherub, and this is described as a light blue crelly. Again, sheer, but fairly even. I think this comes off more sheer than Smitten and also a little bit more uneven than Smitten. It's showing those ridges in my nails a bit more. This builds pretty well and evens out fairly well on the second coat, but is still a bit sheer and you can still see some of those ridges. I think ridge filling base coat would be a good idea here. This evened out fully and covered pretty well on the third coat. I wouldn't say that it covered fully. I could still see a little bit of nail line if I looked closely, but like 90% covered. So that is 3 coats of Cherub. So the next polish is called Slow Burn, and this is described as a color shifting shimmer topper in a clear purple base. I just now read that description for the first time, so I actually swatched this on its own. I do show it over other colors, but I applied it on its own. So pretty sheer on the first coat. Shimmer stands out really nicely. It has a really nice red glow to it, and obviously does not fully build up because it is meant to be a topper, and I missed that detail. Good formula though, and does apply very evenly. So that is 3 coats of Slow Burn on its own, 1 coat over Cherub, and 1 coat over black. The next polish is called Cupid's Arrow, and this is described as a dove white magnetic with a blue sheen. So a bit sheer on the first coat when done in this cat eye style because that magnet does pull the pigment to the center for that stripe, and I think a lot of the coverage comes from that pigment. Great formula here and a beautiful blue glow to the polish. Built up really nicely in 2 coats. Still a bit of nail line showing though. I think wearing it this specific style is going to be the most sheer. So it did take 3 coats in this style to cover the nail line completely, and that blue glow stands out really nicely. So that is 2 or 3 coats depending on the method of Cupid's Arrow. I have it unmagnetized, cat eye style, and velvet style. And the last polish is called Tender Touch, and this is described as a smoky purple magnetic. So great formula on this one, applies very evenly. Similar to the last polish, it is a bit sheer on the first coat when magnetized in this cat eye style because it does pull the pigment to the center. I will say that this is a much weaker magnetic effect than the previous polish. I actually can't read my handwriting for this second coat here, so we're just going to wing it. This did start to build up really nicely on the second coat. That magnetic effect is looking really weak right here though. You can see it, but it's not very obvious. A little bit of nail line was still showing as well. When I added this third coat though, I think I really did the polish a disservice. I think the third coat just was too much for the magnetic pigment and it was very weak. So even if that third coat did cover the nail line, I think this was better into as far as cat eye style goes, but there it is, unmagnetized, cat eye style, and velvet style. Tender Touch is the only one that I did not have anything to compare to. It is kind of uniquely shifty and metallic and then also a magnetic, so I didn't have anything close in my Cirque Colors collection for this one. So for comparisons, I do stick within the same brand just because of the sheer size of my collection, but I am more than willing to expand on that if you have any suggestions or questions about other polishes that you want to see compared outside of the brand or even within the brand if I haven't shown it. And I'll do my best if I have everything to make that comparison. I usually reply with a short. So starting out with Smitten, that's going to be here, here, and here. This first one is Haze Jelly. This is much deeper and dustier. This here is Lavender Sky. This is also more pale. The color of these, because a lot of these jellies are pretty sheer, the color's going to be a little bit off just because of the color of this swatch wheel. On a less opaque polish, it does throw it off a little bit. I haven't really figured out the best solution for that because the clear ones don't really do much better either with polishes that are really sheer and these sheer jellies. So if you have any suggestions there, I'm open. That is really obvious with this one here, which is Kismet, which let me find the bottle for Kismet so you can kind of see. Okay, so Kismet is here. It's a very, very, very light purple here in the bottle. This doesn't translate super well to the nail anyway, but really doesn't translate well to this swatch wheel. So nothing even remotely close there. And then this one here is Odette, which is much more pink and neutral. This one is going to be practically impossible to see. So this is Angel's Breath in the center here. I have this in 3 coats on its own. This, we'll start over here. This here is Snow Angel, which again, I'm going to show you the bottle because it's not translating at all. This is not like remotely close. This is just something that I came across that was a like white sheer topper. This has little tiny like opaque white flakes in it, so it doesn't really show well over this at all. And then over here is Fantasia, which is a multicolor flaky, which again, nothing close. I don't think that Angel's Breath is a particularly unique polish, but it is unique in my Cirque Colors collection specifically. I also put everything over black so you could see the difference there. This is Snow Angel, Angel's Breath here, and Fantasia, so nothing even remotely close. Moving on to Cherub, which is going to be here and here. These are all jelly crellies from Cirque. This first one is Morning Tide. This is a bit more on the periwinkle side and a bit deeper. This is Lagoon Jelly. Ignore this. This is like an actual flaw in the swatch wheel that just happened to end up going under a jelly and the jelly didn't cover it. So anyway, Lagoon Jelly is much more of a like aqua teal shade. There's also cat hair in there. This next one here is Jade Jelly, which is much more green. So next up is Slow Burn, which is going to be here in 3 coats on its own and here in 1 coat over black. The only one that I could really find was Coquette, which is actually a lot closer than I was thinking. Didn't look that close in the bottle. Here is Coquette in 3 coats on its own and 1 coat over black. So the red shimmer I think is going to be the biggest difference here. Coquette is a little bit of a more sparkly topper. It does have that pinky red shimmer, but it's not the same shimmer. It's not as strong. I'm going to lift this up so you can really see that red shimmer coming out. It's like kind of muted here on camera compared to what it actually looks like. It is looking pretty accurate here as far as vibrancy goes. So Slow Burn just in general has a smoother shimmer and a brighter red finish to it. So nothing super close there. I would say they're comparable, but definitely not interchangeable, if that makes sense. So starting out here, unmagnetized, this is Cupid's Arrow here in the middle, Sterling over here, which is not a magnetic polish, and Mother of Pearl over here, which is a magnetic polish. So unmagnetized, this is nearly indistinguishable from Sterling. It has a slight icy blue. You can see a little bit of that blue shimmer, but without being magnetized, it doesn't stand out super well. And then Mother of Pearl is obviously warmer, almost a little bit gold. So if you didn't plan on magnetizing Cupid's Arrow, then you could argue that it's pretty close to Sterling, but magnetized, they are different. So obviously Sterling isn't a magnetic, so this is the last time we're going to see this one. I want to show this cat eye style here first, because I have always been under the impression that if you were to let a magnetic polish completely set over the magnet, every coat fully dry, including top coat, you would have a magnetic effect that's as strong as it is when you first apply that magnet and the polish is very wet. I don't understand how that's not the case here, but in Mother of Pearl specifically, I had some significant like dissipation in the magnetic effect, even though this swatch wheel sat over the, like this took me like 3 days because I did each polish individually and let them sit over the wheel and fully dry, and then I came back the next day. And I do feel like Mother of Pearl actually did fade out and kind of blur a little bit, but Cupid's Arrow stayed pretty strong. So here they are magnetized. You can definitely see the difference here, even though they weren't dupes anyway, but that blue shimmer stands out significantly once it's magnetized. For reference, here is the same polish unmagnetized and magnetized. That blue stands out really nicely. Also, just for fun, I did some velvet effect with Mother of Pearl and Cupid's Arrow as well. So you could see that the blue still stands out really nicely when it's velvet style as well. I actually don't remember if I swatched these two like together. If I didn't, I will have to go back and do that and put a clip in because I think these two together are my favorite. I really like Smitten. I like that light, squishy, like lavender purple shade. It is like light and squishy, like I said, but also has a good amount of pigment to it, so it's not too pale of a purple. And then Slow Burn, being very, very sheer, goes really, really nicely over top of it because it has that really strong shiftiness to it without adding any extra pigment. So I really like these two together. So that is the Cirque Colors Angel Baby collection. Again, I will link the Cirque Colors website down below where you guys can check those out. I also have my coupon/affiliate code, which will be on the screen and in the description box. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you later. Bye.